Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth, and today I'm talking to one particular viewer who respectfully disagreed with a few things I said. Now here's the big difference here, right? Finance is kind of like sports. You ever watch sports and you watch the guys on TV and one guy's talking about football and he's like, oh man, the Patriots are going to win today, and then the other guy's like, no, the Jets are going to win, or whoever's going to win, and then they just kind of go back and forth and they're like, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. It's cool, right? It's what's expected. Well, the same thing happens on financial media as well. It's almost kind of boring because one guy says stock's going up or this is the best way to invest. The other guy goes, no way, this is the best way to invest. And they basically just bicker back and forth and then they move on to the next segment. Well, one of our viewers, Aloha State of Mind, this one's for you today because actually one of the things you posted I really agree with. As far as the fiduciary financial advisor, I'm actually doing a completely separate video on, is a financial advisor worth it, right? To maybe some it is and to others it's not. So I don't want to cover that for you as well. That'll be in tomorrow's video. But what I want to talk about today is one of the things that sort of sticks out in the industry, kind of frustrates me a little bit. Now there's a lot of studies, actually Vanguard did the most recent one, I believe it was about 2 years ago, where they said, hey, financial advisors don't beat the market. And I think that that study, along with about 6 other ones that have been done more recently, not as reputable sources, but that did those studies, I think they're way off here, and the studies are very, very unfortunate. Let's talk about this for a second. First of all, financial advisors will not post their performance as a company on any website or anywhere. The SEC, FINRA, and the NASD don't allow it. Well, they allow it, but here's the rules. If a financial advisor, such as myself, wants to post performance, I have to post the performance of the aggregate, everybody. As a whole, how did they do? Number one, that's so difficult to do. We have a lot of customers now. How would I add it all up and figure it out? It would take too long. But the other thing is, that's not fair, right? The SEC, FINRA, NASD, they don't help us out here. So if I have an 18-year-old client, actually I'll give you a good example. 18-year-old client puts $50 in and is getting started. Great, nothing wrong with that. But that 18-year-old client is taking a substantial amount of risk. And actually 2 of the 18-year-olds last year, they were set to beat the market. That's what they wanted. Just want to do better than the market, and they did. So technically, did we beat the market? Yeah, but it makes sense for those people. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, I have a dear friend of mine, 72 years old. He is my oldest client. There is no way in hell I'm investing the same way for him as I am for the 72-year-old. But unfortunately, the SEC, NASD, and FINRA say you have to count those two together. So the performance of this guy, which was almost 8% last year, and the performance of this guy who beat the market 22% last year, they have to go together and be counted as one. So financial advisors go, I'm not going to report that. That doesn't make any sense. It just makes us look bad. Now, the other side of the story is, on average, this is 3 years ago now, the average age of a financial advisor's client is 63. Why is the average age 63? Those are the people with all the money. I'm the only person out there going after the people that are just getting started and are putting new money in. So advisors, and I'll agree with you, Aloha, some of the, less than above board advisors, do go after the older clients because they have the money. If they can sell them something, they're going to make more money off of them. I don't operate that type of business. I don't sell anything but myself if you choose to use the service. So if the average age of a client is 63 and a half for most advisors, then they're not taking the type of risk to beat the market. They will not beat the market. It's not a bad thing, it's because they're investing appropriately for them. And so while the comment that you made was, well, take up the average age of everybody on YouTube, actually my average client age is now 28 and a half. Of course, they should invest more aggressively. But when you look at these studies and it shows the average age of a financial advisor's client is 63, then it makes perfect sense why that advisor doesn't beat the market. He doesn't want to. That would be a bad financial advisor. Really, he would be taking too much risk. So unfortunately, I think that study's a little bit skewed. Now, one thing financial advisors can do is actually post a portfolio performance. Now, if you were the type of advisor that says, I have some type of portfolio for a 40-year-old, some type for a 45-year-old, maybe a target date for a 50-year-old, or something like that, then you could post the performance of that portfolio. There are some advisors that do that, and that is the performance individually. That's sort of the loophole in the system. We're looking into the idea of maybe having a handful of different portfolios, which then we could track going forward. I really like that idea because then I could post something. Someone could sort of make that pick and say, well, I want something more conservative, and based on the portfolio's history, I can see that I would be doing something more conservative. So I like that idea. It is something we're looking into. All right, bottom line, I just wanted to say, aloha state of mind. You disagreed with me. I'm okay with that. You were very, very professional about it, I'll say. I don't mind if people disagree with me. There's more than one way to go about this business, but you did it in a way that I respected, and so I wanted to make a video for you just to address that. It makes a lot of sense to me. Now, for those of you that leave comments that are comments you would not even say to your daughter, those gotta go. I can't have that. I keep it clean. We can disagree with each other. Just keep it clean, that's all I ask. Well, hey, have I done something or said something that you disagree with? Do you feel like maybe I'm a good guy, a bad guy? Am I saying things wrong? Did I make a mistake? Let me know in the comments below. Happy to make a video to clarify anything that I may have said that either you disagree with or just don't understand. In the meantime, feel free to check out this video over here, show you why 13.4 is the most important number in retirement, hands down, even for you, Aloha. So thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.